Good morning. Welcome to Monday, the 23rd of May, in the year 2022, which continues not to be an auspicious year. But there we are. There's somebody seeing us in on this Monday morning. Well, it's a bit wet outside, but it's not going to get much colder. We're okay there. And as usual, a lot of crises over the weekend. But one, God's sake, I don't know who the hell we got in charge or why they're in charge with all the power games. But here we go again with me talking over the top of music. Here we go again with power games, and we're all back to the iced cake and the pint of beer and curry. Oh, when will they leave it alone? Right, here we are. The weather this morning is a little chillier than of late. I think it's only going to hit about 16 or 17 degrees. It's going to drizzle with rain throughout most of the day, and there's a light, modest breeze. So that's the situation on this 23rd of May, 2022. I'm Keith Hayes. This is Rouser Radio, which we put together just for a few minutes before we go to our television service at 8:30. Mirador television out of the wonderful old hotel, the White Hart, bang in the centre of Lewes, the county town of East Sussex. So there you are, you got it. What do you think of that? So what we do at this hour of the morning is we take a little look at the newspaper front pages to see what's going on. We sort of have a little look at anything local that is particularly of interest, and we play a little esoteric music from people you've never heard of. It's not bad. So to start off with, let's first of all, let me say that the wonderful Jane is on duty this morning in the White Hart. She's got a beautiful smile. She greets you. She's lively. She's top of the morning, and even though I know secretly that she's not feeling that way, but she makes you feel absolutely great. She looks after me. She gets me cracking. Makes sure I've got power for the computer, and the microphone is plugged in, the lights are working, and the bar is open. Oh no, we don't say that. No. The bar is not open for that sort of service. Certainly not. Certainly not. We can't have that. I wonder if that is. Is that cuts that off? I don't suppose it makes any difference really. So there we are. Let's start off with the mini vandals, because we got actually some quite a bit of stuff with the mini vandals. But no, I'm not going to do that after all. What I'm going to do is a Ben Sound Jazz Frenchy. So let's go with that Jazz Frenchy. Whee! 7:36 on this Tuesday morning. No, this is Manio. It's not this Monday. And this Monday morning, for those of you who may have panicked with me, what would you do with somebody like me who makes mistakes like that? Oh dear. Well, I don't blame you. Uh, for whom the bell tolls, we play around with all these things.
Oh, that's you.
That's me talking. Yeah. So, gentlemen, are you trying to get out or get in? There we are. A gentleman just leaving the hotel and having a little word as he went by. Um, where are we? Yeah, yes. Okay, I better put both those up so that we know that we're broadcasting all right. Okay, let's start to take a look at the papers then, because we don't actually, strangely enough, have much time. It's amazing how quickly the time goes. It is now 7:37 on the Monday the 23rd. The newspaper headlines: Time for a rescue plan. Rishi and the City comeback win. Uh, well, not quite sure. That encapsulates what the newspapers are showing on their front pages. So let's see. In the Metro, the Brits feel the pinch. The cost of living crisis and calls for measures to alleviate it continue to dominate the papers. Brits feel the pinch, reads the headline in the Metro. That's the London paper. The paper says the continued rise in energy and food prices has led to a new wave of first-time shoplifters forced to steal in order to eat. Well, we did discuss on Friday that the present situation is encouraging a rise in crime, and particularly what is normally known as petty crime, which the police have dismissed, haven't bothered with. Well, times are changing, coppers. I'm afraid that you're going to have to change with them because we need a police force that is going to start to lift people off the streets instead of them lifting stuff from people off the streets. Here she is. She's with me now. The beautiful, beautiful Jane. How are you, darling? Oh, she's busy looking after a client, and uh, she's fastidious in what she does. Anyway, let's go back to Britsfield Pinch, and we did forecast the rise in crime as a result of the fact there's just not enough money to go around in family budgets. Although, with all due respect, is watching people shop. They still go for the expensive stuff. Quite amazing. And what we do is we still have the expensive habits, but we don't have the top up budget to handle it. And people are terribly, terribly funny. They claim poverty when in fact what they're paying is, I mean, you know, why pay hundreds of pounds for a pair of trainers? Everybody wears the ugliest bloody shoes that they possibly can nowadays. Anyway, I've never seen such ugly shoes in all my life that most people are wearing nowadays. And yet they'll go and pay a bundle, absolute bundle, for a pair of trainers, when in fact they could go to the charity shop and get one for 10 quid. Some of those things, but will they? No, no, no. They'd much rather they pay the look good and starve. Oh, Jane, God bless you. Here she is with my coffee. Are you feeling any better now, dear?
Me?
Yes.
No, it's just getting progressively worse.
Oh, she's getting progressively worse. We're in a rough day. She'll take it out on me. Right. Okay, the Times. Fuel poverty predicted to hit 40% of households. Well, that's damn near half of every household in Britain that's going to feel the pinch when it comes to fuel. I must say that I didn't particularly notice it over the weekend. I was poorly over the weekend, believe it or not. Not very much like me, but there we are. I ate something, or I got a tummy bug, or whatever, and I didn't get out of my dressing gown yesterday, and felt very sorry for myself. I'm much better this morning. You'll be pleased to know, or you won't be pleased to know, or you don't give a damn, because it's 7:41 on the morning of the 23rd of May. Where did this month go to? It was only May the 1st a couple of days ago, and here it is now, the 23rd. What happened to the intervening days? I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. All I can tell you is it is 2022, and we're heading for next month, uh, the main celebrations for the Jubilee. And I hope a little later for telly that my old pal Mick Symes is going to be in the studio, because I saw him on Saturday and he hailed me and he showed me the Lewis Platinum Jubilee Celebration souvenir program. I'm not quite sure how much it costs. Perhaps a quid or something. It's not terribly expensive, but it's been put together, and I'm happy to say I think that we were able to show it this morning on television. But it is the Lewis Platinum Jubilee Celebration Souvenir Program. It's on sale. All the monies go to charity, and it's well, it's not huge, but it's got plenty of memories in it from the time that the Queen has been here in the past, and a message from the new mayor. And I must actually contact her to invite her on, because that's something that slipped by me. I normally keep pretty close tabs on the town council, but there's been so much else going on. The Queen's Platinum Jubilee message from our mayor, and Shirley Ann Sains, who is now mayor of Lewis. She was last year to Mayor Stephen Catlin, his first lady. And she's got a nice little message in there. And of course, there are some Jubilee events listed, what's going on and what you can see and what you can't see. And as I say, some nice memorabilia about the time that the Queen has been in Lewis. So here we are at 7:44. And before we go on with some more gloom and doom and misery from the newspapers, why don't we actually sort of listen to another? Down with your get-up, the Mini Vandals. Oh, let's see what that is. Down with your get up by the Mini Vandals. Yes, it's sort of lively, isn't it? It's not bad at all. It gave me a chance to pour a cup of coffee, which the lovely Jane brought to me just a few minutes ago. Mm. And that's the first sip of something in the morning. I can remember once in Kosovo, I was up at the British Army camp. I got a decent breakfast there. And the colonel in charge came in and slumped down in front of me, and he said, decaf. I need a shot of caffeine to get me going in the morning." And then took a great big gulp of coffee, which most certainly was not decaf. But yes, it is nice to have a little shot of caffeine in the morning to get you going. And getting going, I most certainly am this morning. Whee! So it's Rouser Radio you're listening to from Lewes, East Sussex. It's on the 23rd of the 5th, which means it's the 23rd day, Monday the 23rd of May in the year 2022. And looking at going back to the papers again is the Daily Mirror. Energy boss, prices are too high. And they report that the UK head of energy giant E.ON, Michael Lewis, has urged Prime Minister Boris Johnson to step in to help people pay their energy bills. The paper also one of a number to carry a picture of the Manchester City team celebrating after their dramatic victory. They took the championship last night. They were 2-0 down against Aston Villa, managed to clinch it 3-2 on the day. So there we are. My goodness me, it is all happening one way or the other. What do you think? So be it. So be it then. If you approve, then it's okay. The Daily Express, which is always tends to support the government. Time for a rescue plan, Rishi. Energy bills to hit £3,000. I mean, that is a bit ridiculous. I can't afford £3,000. You can't afford anything. The Express leads with Mr. Lewis's comments and says some households face energy bills of £3,000 a year. And the headline addressed to Chancellor Rishi Sunak reads, "Time for a rescue plan, Rishi." Well, we always said, I don't know why, but they keep getting their heads into sandpits over COVID and whether lockdown and whether people pay by the rules or not. Well, I don't care, to be quite honest with you. Yes, by all means in the background, go after it. If people are naughty, they need their fingers slapped. Although we seem to live in a society where slapping fingers isn't the norm. We let people get away with murder, absolute murder. But why did I start to say that? As will come back to me in a minute. But anyway, time for a rescue plan. Oh yes, that's right. I'm getting fed up with them all putting their heads in the sand and trying to decide whether they were naughty boys or girls with iced cakes, half bottles of champagne, beer and curry. Get on with actually trying to govern the country. We all knew, everybody knew, a price to pay for lockdown. Everybody knew. But did anybody do anything about it? No, sir. We all basked in either the glory or the distaff side in how we handled lockdown, how we handled COVID. Everybody rushed to get a salary without actually working, and that's still holding us back. And all in all, that dominated so much, even to the point where I was having a discussion on the weekend with somebody that we forgot that we got cancer in our midst. Cancer didn't go away. We all got so wound up about COVID and how to handle it. We just ignored it. And the charities aimed at Cancer Research UK, I'm particularly concerned about, dropped millions and millions and millions of pounds because we all got carried away by COVID. Now, COVID is with did he or didn't he, and with all the finger pointing and the yelling and the screaming, is beginning to impose on the rest of our lives. Nobody is bothering to look at the energy crisis. Nobody is bothering to look at galloping inflation. Nobody is willing to take a look at the war, although I have to say, give Boris his due. He has turned out to be something of an international man on that front. But here we are in crises which everybody can see coming except those people who are in charge of leading us, of governing us. And that just simply is not on. It is not on at all, at all, at all. And we need people in charge who are going to just tell the chattering classes to shut up and bugger off for a little while. And let us get out of the current situation that we're in. For there. Okay. The I. Cost of living help is on hold as the PM focuses on Partygate. Well, from the way I read it, that's hardly a fair headline, but every dog must have his day. As I read, there is a row going on, and whether the report on Partygate was instigated over and above the Prime Minister's head. So he's caught up in it because it was initiated by somebody else, by the Lady Grey, or should we say the Grey Lady, with her report on what went on and what went down. And she's spent so much time on this report, she's determined that it's going to take news headlines, when in fact there are 10,000 other things. I can't see anything in the papers this morning about what the hell's happening in Ukraine, and yet there's a war going on in which we're involved. And can we find out what's happening? No. Because we're worried about a piece of bloody Christmas cake with icing on it that was eaten or not eaten, as the case may be, in circumstances in which it shouldn't have been eaten. Okay, the cake has gone. So is the stage. Just can we look at it in a sensible, calm way? Because we've got till eternity to do so. Instead of rushing in and clouding some of the issues like cost of living. Yeah, the cost of living is help is on hold because the idiots that we've got, a whole bunch of them. I'm not no party politics here, no. The bunch of idiots that we've got in Westminster are all busy worrying about whether they should have eaten a piece of bloody Christmas cake. I'm sorry if I'm using expletives this morning. They're only mild ones, but nonetheless, I do get very, very upset at these things. And oh dear, I think I better calm down. It is 7:55 on the 23rd day of May, 2022. Young love from Young Logos. Let's see what it has to offer. Well, that's okay, I guess. A bit repetitive, I think. But calm enough for this time of the morning. It is now 7:58, 8 o'clock. If you haven't got up yet, get up now. And what we will face is a rather moist morning. It's going to rain throughout the day. Not much relief, but it's not going to be heavy rain. We're going to hit around 15, 16 degrees, and not the heady days of 19. But I have to say that the predictions are for some pretty nice weather at the beginning of June. June is busting out all over, as they say, or as the song goes. But the Daily Mail. The PM allies accuse Sue Gray of playing politics. Now, this is the much vaunted report into the iced cake at Christmas, the half bottle of champagne, the open bag of crisps, the pint in a lager at party headquarters for Keir Starmer. It's all a bunch of rubbish, as far as I'm concerned. Is generally speaking, people are naughty. They've been fined. Do we have to go all over it again? But if we do, surely now it can be put into a private room and let them all hang out together, yell at one another, and then come out and tell us what they've decided, instead of bringing it into the forefront when we have so many other problems, so many other severe problems to handle, and we expect our leaders to do it. And what are they doing? Now, this woman, Sue Gray, has decided her report is terribly important and must come before everybody. Well, I'll tell you, Miss Gray, I don't know whether you're Mrs. Upside Down, Inside Out. The fact of the matter is, we would prefer that this was kept to a more timely time. We need leadership. We need leadership on food shortages. And what's exacerbating the food shortages? The war. We need a lead on the war. And what effect is the war having? Is having an effect on energy. We need a lead on energy. We need a lead on galloping inflation. 9%, likely to tip over to 10. In fact, some analysts say that for poorer people, it is already nudging 11%. For wealthier people, it's only hitting 8. But nonetheless, considering that we've had virtually zero inflation for almost a decade and a half, it's something that everybody's having to get used to. And okay, so smack bang right in the middle of the forehead. But nonetheless, we expect somebody to say, "Don't worry, chaps, we've got it all under control," whether they have or they haven't. But none of that is coming out. None of it, because of that bloody Christmas cake. Icing Christmas cake. Good for the Daily Mail. The Guardian. Children's mental health in crisis as cases rocket to a record high. Once again, not a bit surprised. Lockdown was an unexpected and slam bang experience for all of us. And for children, it took away some of their childhood. It made them face all sorts of unrealistic situations. No wonder that they are going gently mad. However, one thing we must be very careful about is how we measure what is mental health and what's not. I mean, just because somebody stamps their feet doesn't necessarily mean that they're in poor mental health. I don't mean it. It might well be the case, but is by what measure do we say that it's because I'll tell you one thing, having had something to do with mental health, not my own. I'm mad as hatter anyway. I'm totally mad. But some of the people that I've dealt with on a mental health level, as daft as the people that they're pretending to help. Absolutely no sucker there. So I don't have a great deal of confidence in the measure of mental health, how we treat it, how we view it, how we stay on top of it. Tooty tooty too. You say so three, by the way, if anybody's a bit interested. Anyway, that's the Guardian headline. The Financial Times, company executives and investors, a three-decade golden era for globalization risks going into reverse. Well, in the last 2 or 3 years, the wisdom, the perceived wisdom has been that globalization does not work, that it has created a false set of circumstances that makes it tougher and tougher for us to make the world go round economically. And now Davos, the World Economic Forum, which is where all the best brains, best economic brains, best business brains, best political brains all meet and stroke their beards and have great conferences and then come out with great protestations, is they've been pushing globalization for years, and now even they have got some doubt as to whether globalization is working. So what about the rest of us who don't understand the damn thing? I'll tell you one thing, there is one company here that is very, very keen on globalization, and it does not work. It does not work, not in this environment, not in the customs and practices of this country, where to get a call about your credit card account during church service is not acceptable. I don't care if you do sponsor a football stadium. And there is something else outside the headlines. Pitch invasions, attacking players. It is all coming back to haunt us. We have got myriad problems. The NHS is overwhelmed, partly because it is a monolith organisation, and it should not have got that way. But then, when we're fat and sassy, we let things get away. And then when there's a crisis, we can't handle it. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. Then get people who can handle it. Time for reform. Time to start giving people a real chance to take part in their society, their community. Oh, well, we do that, we say. No, we don't. You want to become an MP? Try it. In theory. In practice, if you don't belong to the club, you're in trouble. I'm pouring a cup of coffee now again, just to calm me down. Oh, oh dear. 8:06. We better let's play Kind of a Party. Well, that sounds lively enough. It's the sort of party that I might like to go to. Not that I go to many parties nowadays. In fact, parties seem to me to be just either a rave or some Whitehall cocktail party. After that, the idea of parties seems to be going out of fashion, and it's rather a pity. Rather a pity, really, because we are becoming socially distanced from one another almost on a permanent basis, and we shouldn't be. We are social animals, and much of the progress made in for mankind has been on the basis of a family unit pulling together and interacting with other family units. We don't have that anymore. We really do not have it anymore. I'm not saying that there isn't a mother-father a child situation, but um, we don't really move as a unit to talk. Mind you, I mean, much of that is because, and I'm a guilty one. I mean, I went off at 18 to Canada, 8,000 miles away, for God's sake, as I was one of the first of the mobiles. And I didn't realise at the time that I was setting any sort of precedent that I might regret later on. I don't know that I regret it, even now. But the trend has been towards dispersal of the family unit rather than cosseting it and making sure that it comes our way. Now, it's 8 minutes, it's 10 minutes past 8, and we've got a little way to go yet because we'd like to get off the air by at least 20 past so that we can prepare for our television service, Mirador Television, out of White Hart in Lewes at 8:30. So the Daily Telegraph is gene-edited crops to help ease the Ukraine food crisis. All the nonsense about genetically tampered with crops and monster foods and marches and stamping of little feet and so on, which has been pushed into the background and now it's coming back to the foreground. Why? Because we're hungry. We're hungry, and the very thing that we said that we wouldn't do, we're doing. That's how quickly we can change. Well, I don't care personally, but the Daily Telegraph has a right to bring it back to our attention and put it in front of us. The Sun. The Sun has strangely stayed out of politics, almost totally. And it leads with a kid's nurse in a poison kill quiz. A child died in a Birmingham hospital over the weekend after a nurse had administered to it. And now that they are looking at her activities to see whether in fact she either did it deliberately or through incompetence or whatever. So the Sun is looking at that. And the Star. God bless the Star. Because it has decided, it decided a couple of weeks ago that we were going to have rocketing temperatures. We were going to have a booming summer. It was all going to be really very, very nice. They really did. They decided that, and they've stuck with it, and they keep on returning to it about once every couple of days. And so, what have they done? A right royal toast, they say, but a 10-day Jubilee heat wave starts this week. Long to array over us, it says, with its play on words and its headlines. I love the Star, I really do. It keeps me amused for hours each day. Um, uh, but we are apparently in for a bit of a soaking as far as sunshine is concerned. What do you want to bet? 2 days in, and we'll be yelling at water shortages. Don't water the lawn. Don't do this with water. Don't do that with water. And water is indeed a precious commodity, and becoming more so throughout the world, and particularly since people are now able to buy water the way they can oil. And here is Mr. Mick Symes. Good morning, Mick.
Good morning.
Come and sit down. We're just about to sign off from our little radio thing and get ready for our telly, so you're in at just the right time. Okay, it is now 13 minutes past 8 on the 23rd day of May 2022. And I think we've exhausted the papers. we now know that the country and the world is in as big a mess it was when we started out last week. No improvement at all there, and reflected in the papers. I'm going to say toodle pip. We will be back with Tully in about 15 minutes' time. Until then, until tomorrow morning, when we'll start again at 7:30, and we'll give you another rollicking, let's say ta-ra, if I can find the ta-ra music. There we go. Ta-ra, ta-ra, ta-ra.